What's really interesting about all of this, and I'm going to tie this back into a previous conversation we had too, is we were talking before about the importance of a culture. And in that environment, all of a sudden, it's like all bets are off. The culture we had, the company we had, what we could rely on is changing. There's no rock foundation anymore. And change is huge. We are all scared of change. None of us are comfortable with change. And this is some of the biggest change around. So take me back to the conversation we had earlier about the importance of culture, because that's what I kept thinking about as you were telling that story. What is the role of culture in creating and maintaining and attracting these high performance teams that are going to take the business forward? Because those same high performance teams in that scenario you were just articulating there, they were probably worried about their job. It tore at the fabric of the foundation of the culture that you had put together. So I'll just turn it over to you. I asked about 5 questions there.
Yeah, I remember the conversation we had. It really is. And that goes hand in hand with what we were just talking about. When you get in those situations, because part of that message that you're articulating is what your company culture is. And in that scenario, I was in a position where we were trying to figure that actually out, even from our side. Like we kind of knew from the executive team what we wanted the culture to be, but it was a newly acquired company too. So from our perspective, when I was new coming in, our CEO was new. It just started maybe a week or two before I did. So we were both start trying to figure out what we knew we wanted a culture of. It's going to sound corny, but I feel like whatever reason, when I said that, I think of like the Care Bears or whatever, like it's just a really cheesy thing. But I think it all starts with being genuine because people, I think, and especially in those settings we were talking about earlier, where you're trying to attract really high performing people, we're also trying to keep those high performing people in the companies that we're acquiring. And I think what attracts people is cutting out the bull crap. So a lot of times I think people will come in and they have this dog and pony show and you feel like you're getting sold a used car that's going to break down in a couple of weeks. And no one wants that. And you can see through it so easily. If you're a genuine person, you genuinely caring about the people that you're working with and trying to preserve what they've built over the last 30, 40, 20 to 50 years, the range of companies that I've experienced acquiring that have been around, you're trying to say, we care about you. We care about your company and we care about the culture that's been created for years. And we want to integrate the best parts of that into our company too. And to mean that, not to lip service, that's easy to do, but it's also really hard because sometimes some of the things that they find value in and they think, hey, we do this better than anybody. And you're like, yeah, but can you scale that? Sometimes there's an issue with scaling too, because they'll do things that small companies do and they think it's great. It's the only way it works and it's the best way it works. It's the most efficient way. And you're like, yeah, but we can't scale that because that only works because you guys are at X doing it in this market. But when you're in 30, 50 different markets and you're doing $200-300 million or $500 million, the same things just don't work. So you got to also be genuine and be upfront and honest and say, hey, look, let's work together and figure out the things that do work and don't work. But it all comes down to coming from a place, and you can help make that transition so much easier by just cutting the bull crap out and being who you are and genuinely trying to care for whoever it is that you're talking to and dealing with and trying to communicate with at that time, because they'll sense that from you and they know that no one wants to be in a disingenuous company or be a part of it. If everyone, I think, knows when it's happening. And that's part of that. I think that's the most important part of culture, is that culture of caring, a culture of keeping people and surrounding yourself with people who are genuine and who are not trying to perform, not trying to put on a show or be something that they're not. They're good at their job. They're very confident and they are who they are. And then from there, as long as you're honest and you're genuine about it, you can have those difficult conversations and you can get through it, come to an understanding, and then you can build the culture on that. But I think if you don't start building culture from that, no matter what you do, you can offer all the perks and sleeping pods and whatever tech company nonsense that everyone has. And they think, well, this is what the culture is. It's about ping pong tables and bouncy balls or whatever it is. I'm like, no. It's about people who are trying to have genuine connections and interactions with other people. And as a team leader and an executive, if you don't genuinely care about the people who work either directly for you and in your organization, your company culture is going to be broken no matter what else you bring in. It's not going to work. And then every company you acquire after that's going to have a problem too. So it's a really, really important thing that you bring in truly genuine people that you can trust, that are who they are and aren't trying to pretend like they're something that they're just not. People see through it like that, and no one wants that.